President William Ruto has shot the fiercest salvo yet at unscrupulous Kenya Revenue Authority officials allegedly aiding and abetting tax evasion. In a pseudo-calm yet stern warning to the taxman during his address on Friday morning, Ruto lifted the lead on the extent of rot at KRA, saying efforts to roll out technology to enhance efficiency in tax collection have been sabotaged by KRA staff in cahoots with tax evaders. Brian George starts us off tonight.
President William Ruto, without a means of his words, has laid bare the rot at KRA, reading the Riot Act to staff he accused of turning the institution into a den of corruption. The head of state vowed that heads will roll at KRA if the staff fail to change their wayward ways and embrace digitization to restore public trust in the management of their taxes.
You know very well we would be collecting more money than we are doing, but because we have staff in KRA who do not work for the government of Kenya, they work for themselves. And they work for other entities. And their biggest assignment is to assist taxpayers, not to pay tax, but to assist taxpayers to evade.
The president regretted to note that any attempts to digitize and professionalize KRA has been met by a lot of resistance by staff at the institution, claiming that the use of technology will expose the underhand dealings in the tax evasions. Ruto said corruption at KRA is the modus operandi.
In fact, it is public information that any attempt to digitize, to professionalize KRA has been met by a lot of resistance from staff in KRA.
Despite spirited calls for reduction of tax waivers by the National Treasury, tax expenditure went up 316 billion shillings in 2021. The Kenya Revenue Authority reported that this is a rise of 48.9 billion shillings from the 267.1 billion shillings that it recorded in the previous year, paid out to businesses that enjoy relief on various tax heads, including domestic value-added tax VAT, domestic excess duty, personal income, and corporate income tax. This touched largely on the 24-hour tax levy that was adopted fast by betting companies. KRA also targets to collect 3 trillion shillings in 2023, a target that was given to the taxman as a challenge by the president. KRA collected only 999 billion shillings in the first half of this financial year, of the total of 2.57 trillion shillings needed for the entire year, meaning that the taxman will need to almost double its revenue yields in the remaining months to meet the target. Once again, the president has reiterated his position in raising the country's tax revenue to GDP ratio from the existing 15% to 25%, or at least 20% as provided for by other benchmark countries like South Africa, which he was keen to mention. Brian George, NTV, Nairobi.